Hey everyone! So today I wanted to make a quick little video for you guys and show you how to make your own little silicone molds so you can make how to make sacred geometry inserts for your Orgone pendants. Somebody asked me how I do this, so I thought I would show you guys how. This one is a little hard to see because this is a glow-in-the-dark one. I used glow-in-the-dark powder. It looks like this, and you pour it into the resin, and then it makes the little insert glow-in-the-dark. So you would basically just pour that powder into the resin and then pour it into this little mold that I made myself. So I'm going to show you how to make these today. It's really, really simple. All you do, and you can, it doesn't have to be sacred geometry, it can be any kind of charm, but of course sacred geometry is, you know, it's a popular and beautiful form of art, so it's always nice to put inside Orgone, especially if you're making a spiritual piece of art. So you do have to, I have had to make these a couple times because I have had some mess ups. Like this one, for example, this was supposed to be a seed of life, and as you can see, I pushed the mold in too far, so it turned out pretty funky. Now, it's okay if you have mess ups because this is the silicone putty, and you get, you know, a pretty good amount. I think I bought like half a pound, and a little goes a long way. If you're just making little charms like this, you don't have to worry about messing up because you can make another one. And so I ended up making, I don't know, I guess this was my second one, and then it turned out pretty nice. And that is how it turned out. I don't have a ton of good examples. The smaller you go, like this was, and basically what you're going to do is you're going to buy little charms. So these are little charms that I purchased on Etsy and eBay, and I then, this one had, you know, a little thing on top of it, like this here, a little loop, and all you do to get that loop off is you just take a tool like this, and you just grab that loop here. Usually the metal's soft enough, and you can just chop it off just like that. And then you can just, you know, clip away at it a little, maybe even file it, just to make it so that it's not, doesn't have a bunch of stuff sticking up. I think, well, it's not too bad, but you could file it down a little bit. I might even do that. You can just take a little nail file and like this, and just you know, make it so that there's not a major thing popping off the top there, so that when you stick it into your mold, it won't leave a strange little lump there. So anyways, you've got your charms, and these are not metal. I do think that metal works better than this plastic stuff, but the plastic stuff was a heck of a lot cheaper than the metal, of course, so that's why I tried it out. Now, it's not bad. It did work. I got this really nice one out of it. And of course, like I said, when you use bigger pieces, like this one is like, I think this is almost a 2-inch one. The bigger the better. But the problem is I can't fit these 2-inch pieces into my pendant molds. So you do have to, you know, look out for that because this obviously is not going to fit into a mold. It's just those, you know, if it was just a tad bit smaller, it'd have been perfect, but I bought it anyways because I do have 2-inch pendants that I can put it into. It's just quite big, in my opinion, to wear. But anyways, I do have use for these. So basically, let me give you an example. When you use these smaller charms like these little guys, this is like 1/2 inch. It's really hard to, when you pour the resin in, to control the resin and not let it, see how it filled in so that there's no, see how I did that? That's the hard part. It can get difficult, and you do have to, you know, work with it several times until you get the hang of it. And you do have to work with the bubbles a little bit. But once you do get the hang of it, it's awesome. It's a fun, simple little thing, and it's a beautiful thing to put in your pendants. So let me show you real quick on how to do that. And all you're going to do is take out this silicone, and you don't even have to wear gloves if you don't want to, because it's not like overly sticky or anything. Just make sure your hands are clean and you don't have fuzz or hair on them or anything, like I just noticed I did. I had a little bit of doggy hair. So you want to get equal parts of this. I'm just using a little bit because I'm going to try, well, hopefully, actually, let me use a little bit more. So let's see. So you want to roll them. What I like to do when I get the equal parts to make sure they're equal is roll them into balls like this, and then just to make sure that they match in size. And I'll just hold them next to each other, and it looks like I have a little bit more of the white, so then I'll just go ahead and get a little bit more of the purple and put that, go ahead and stick it in there. So then I'll just match them up, and that looks, I mean, it doesn't have to be exactly perfect, but you want to be, pretty close. So then you just go ahead and push them together and just kind of mix it up like you're mixing Play-Doh together. And it only takes, just a minute or so to get it completely, you don't want it swirl. You want it to look exactly like this purple. Just, and then after you have it mixed together, you're going to, well, let's see, let me just make sure. See, it goes really, mixes really nicely, really quickly, doesn't stick on anything. It's non-toxic. I love this stuff. It's so awesome. Now, this is actually a really, I should have used a little bit more because I was going to do a Tree of Life, and these are pretty big. But if the Tree of Life doesn't fit in what I just did, I'm going to go ahead and just do another, try and do another little one, because I have these here. I've made a few of the little Seed of Lives, but they're so small that it's just, these are my hardest, those are my biggest challenges, those Seed of Lives. So I would recommend, if you want to get a Seed of Life for your pendants, to go at least an inch or bigger on those, because even an inch and a half, I would do an inch and a half, because these small ones, they're just, although they fit in the pendants nicely so that you could fit stones around them, they're just so hard to to form molds with. Okay, so here is the mold, and I think this will fit. So I'm going to set it down, and I'll go ahead and zoom. Oh, I hope I was zoomed in this whole time. Oh, I'm going to be sad if it was all unfocused. I might have to redo the video now. Okay, so there's the little round circle. So I'm just going to take my Tree of Life and then poke it in there nice and gently. And then see how there's some little holes and details. You can take like a toothpick just to push, so to make sure that you've got, you got it pushed down enough to capture the detail. Oh, well, it takes practice. I haven't done this in a while. But just kind of push. And if you mess up, you can take it out and do it, fix it real quick, smush it up and then smush it back down. But you got to be quick, because this stuff does begin to cure pretty fast. So you don't want to push it down too far in. That's another thing I learned when I did with this one. I pushed it down way too far in, and it got really funky. So And see how this one isn't as deep? It turned out much more nice. This is the result of the one that isn't so deep, and then this is the result of the one that it was too deep. So you don't want to go too deep. This was my very first one. Obviously turned out pretty funky, so it just takes a little practice. But you know, once you get the hang of it, like I said, you'll have a really cool thing to add to your Orgone pendants. And it's an awesome little design, and it's so simple. So I'll show you what this stuff is here. It's called Easy Mold Silicone Putty, and it's made by Capstan Craft, and you can get this anywhere. Just search, you can Google it, you can search it on eBay or Etsy, and it sells all over the place, and it's reasonably priced for the amount you get and how many things you can make with it. So anyways, have fun with that, and thanks for watching.